Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee. Maybe some chocolate. Covered espresso beans, and let's get into it. So, we're going to be talking about shortages and some things that, are just going on with a lot of you guys. Okay, so this email came in just today, and she said, my company's bank just sent out this message to its customers. She said, I don't bank there, but I find it odd since the Huntington Bank issue in the Midwest was supposedly blamed on the storms that passed through. There's no storms here. Get your money out of the banks. We have a fireproof up to 1,700 degrees, waterproof up to 3,400 feet, safe with a key lock, not combo or digital, those break. I bought just in case this happens. It's time to move the money out of the banks. Yes, you are so right. Okay. So, you listen, we've got a lot to talk about, so I hope you're comfy. I really do, because this just might be a long one. So anyway, this one says, I live in Western Mass, and I shop at Stop & Shop, Big Y, Dollar General. Big Y has just recently, within the last month, added a large number of self-checkout machines, which they have never had before. Dollar General has added one self-checkout recently, and the other two they have that is run by employees will only accept cash now at those registers. Stop & Shop had them before, but added more recently, and I was forced to go to the self-checkout because there was only one employee to run the register. I am sure there is part of their plan to make sure that people don't have jobs, so they will be desperate enough to accept this digital currency. I don't believe this is only about company greed. These things are accelerating at a fast pace. Just my take on this. All right, well, thank you. That's a very good opinion on all of it. It really is. So, on to this. She said, I thought something wasn't quite right when I noticed some of the Friskies and seafood pate. And this is talking about cat food. If you remember, what was it, last year and the year before, nowhere in any store could we find wet cat food. Okay. She said, the can cases I received in auto ship had a faded blue color on the box and not the deeper blue it normally has, but didn't think anything of it. Then I noticed the lighter blue box. I opened it, fed it to the cats. They didn't eat as much of the wet as they've done in the darker blue box cans. One has been throwing up a lot lately and won't really touch it. I chalked it up to hairballs, since she's a Norwegian forest cat with long hair like a Maine Coon has. That often is the issue. Yeah, I used to have a Maine Coon, and not only are these cats ginormous in size, but their hair is very long and very thick. Okay, so hairballs are very common with both of these breeds of cats. Okay. She said, but now seeing this below, I'm nervous. I originally searched for any recalls on Purina hen layer feed for chickens because some people in New Hampshire have either had their hens have low egg production or found dead. After opening a new bag of the feed last week when I stumbled upon this petition, I wonder if the cases of cans were on cargo ships exposed to the elements and caused them to go bad. It's very, very possible. It's very, very possible. So yeah, be very careful when it comes to, because for so long, none of us could get our hands on wet cat food. And now all of a sudden. Okay, so be very, very careful. Okay, so on to this. A subscriber said, I just sat down to view our local news, and there were two stories, both around Champaign, Urbana, Illinois, and both truck accidents carrying food. One was a truck carrying peanut butter, and the other was carrying potatoes. Both items are said to be in short supply. Yes, they are. Champaign is located basically at the intersection of I-74 and I-57. This reminded me of an old commercial for Reese's, except that they didn't crash into each other and chocolate was not involved. I visit a lot of different websites, read comments as well. There seems to be a problem with our otherwise healthy egg-laying hens. People are reporting that the hens are ceasing to lay eggs, one after changing feed to a different supplier, one flock dying after a new bag of food. Okay, so you're reporting the same thing that the other subscriber reported. Purina was noted, but I wouldn't mention that. Well, I just did. And other commenters noting the same phenomena without deaths. The heat may have been an issue for some commenters, but not for others. According to the cows born with the number 7 on their foreheads, we have 6 more years of this. Yeah, I heard about that. Oh my goodness, what was it? Last year and the year before, a lot of people kept saying about the cows with the number 7 on their forehead. And I looked into it and I was just like, I don't know if this have anything to do, you know what I mean? Because you hate to look into things like that because you don't know if it's conspiracy theory or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? And you hate to even dive and go down that rabbit hole, you know what I mean? But so on to this. Okay, so talking about the I-74, the fire at the Lincoln Bridge. Okay, so here's a picture of it. This is the one with the potatoes in the truck. Okay, so here's a picture of it. And wow, talk about plumes of smoke. It's really sad. Jeez. And what it was a truck towing 44,000 pounds, okay, of peanut butter caught on fire. I don't know. And it caught on fire on a roadway in Illinois. And it was charred peanut butter, was seen scattered all along the road. Okay. So, I'll leave links, okay? But yeah, what a mess. Okay, so on to this. A week or so ago, a subscriber said that the price of number 10 can was in the low 30s. Now look at it, the list price. Does this mean we now have eggs at $1 a piece at the stores? Yes. I had said this, what was it, a week ago, something like that. Augustin Farms, the dry whole egg product, it's the 2-pound, 1 ounce, number 10 can. The list price, get this, $115.99. And then it says price $85.43, $2.59 an ounce. You save $30.56. Now, why these prices are, but you know, Augustin Farms, they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. I was purchasing their vegetable seeds. At one point, they were $25. Then they went up to $92. And it's like, wait a minute, man. This is, come on. You know, that's a little out of reach here. Come on, you know. So on to this. This subscriber said baby formula in our area is kept at the front of the store behind lock and key. Didn't get a picture of that, but it's been that way since the beginning of the shortages. Yeah. There's about 15 cans of formula. Been that way for months. Kroger added shelves to the top and shrunk the space to put the items on. Easier today, I decided to treat myself, get my nails done. Subway had a sign on the door due to supply chain shortages. They're basically out of stock on certain items. And here's a picture. And it says, due to supply chain challenges, we are experiencing outages on some of your favorite items and or have temporarily replaced the item with a different variety. This is on the door at Subway. So these pictures are from upstate New York in Walmarts. Milk. Peanut butter. Wow. Now this picture comes out of Burbank, California at a movie theater. And it says, due to the national change shortage. Here we go again with the change shortage, coin shortage, right? We are currently unable to take your cash in our concession area. Thank you for understanding. AMC. Yeah. And then these pictures were sent in, and she said, so I saw these signs up at Targets. I never thought we would see the day when the U.S. would need baby formula from other countries. I also saw low price signs up all over Target, not new low price, just low price. And no, Target, that is not a low price. I've said I've paid way less for these sandwich baggies. I know I did. Yeah, I know. So this first picture says Kenda Mill formula will start to arrive in the coming weeks with continued shipments arriving over the next month. And then the next picture is of Ziplocs, $5.79 for the small box. That's not a low price. Sorry, not sorry. I've never paid that much for Ziplocs. Here you go. And now I'm going to go over some news articles that I have been sent, okay? Now, UTE Mountain Farm in Southwest Colorado, they took a 75% cut in their water supply. Yeah. And this has also led to job cuts and loss of revenue for the Ute Mountain tribe. So that link will be in the description box below. All right. So on to this. My gosh. The Walmart on Woodrow Bean had several cold food items missing from its freezer Sunday due to issues with machines. Now, we've seen this in the past when it comes to the refrigerated section and the freezer section, okay? But this is kind of strange. All the pork, the beef, the chicken, and the dairy items were removed from the freezers and stored elsewhere. Other freezers that held like coffee creamer were covered in plastic wrap. So, I don't know. It's just strange. It really, truly is. You know, plastic wrap of all things. So, this is news from another country, okay? People in Pakistan are urged, because the big thing over there is to drink tea, okay? Well, now they're being told, you need to stop. You can only have, less tea now. I know. So, sipping on fewer cups a day would cut Pakistan's import bills. Yeah. The country's low foreign currency reserves, and currently enough for fewer than 2 months of all imports, have left it in urgent needs of funds. And Pakistan is the world's largest importer of tea, buying more than 600 million or 501 million lira worth last year. So they're telling their people, stop drinking the tea, or, cut it out. Lower your expectations on drinking that much tea. So on to this. Odessa authorities, and this is in Texas, are scrambling to provide cases of bottled water, as much of the sweltering city is without power amid 100-degree heat. The water main burst on Tuesday morning, and emergency crews are struggling to repair it. The state officials helping distribute bottled water. In Ohio, 230,000 people were without power, including 169,000 in the state capital of Columbus, due to an overstretched grid and severe storms. On Monday night, parts of the Midwest were buffeted by strong winds, which ripped up trees in Chicago and saw people scurrying to their basements. Now, record temperatures, meanwhile, have been recorded in cities including St. Louis, Missouri, North Platte, Nebraska, Nashville, Tennessee, with some cities breaking records set in the 1950s. And the hot weather caused by a high-pressure heat dome prevented the radiation from escaping and is expected to continue for several more days. All right. So now, talking about like fire damages, okay, food processing plants. This one happened in Portage County in Wapaka. And I think I talked about this the other day, but this is just so sad. I've been trying to look up for updates, okay, but thankfully no one has been injured, okay, but about 150 people work at this place. It's called Festive Foods, and they make frozen pizzas and appetizers, okay? So if anyone has seen any updates, please let me know. So, when we talk about shortages and things like that, we always think about, okay, food supply chain, things like that. Okay, well, have you ever thought about automotive? Well, the maker of anything else, automotive, housing supplies, shoes, clothes, HBA, health and beauty aids. Anything else? Have you ever thought about anything else? Because when we think of shortages, we only think about like food and things like that. Well, one company says rising costs are forcing them to close a staple in the Los Angeles area. Farmer John meatpacking plant is set to shut down after more than 90 years in operation. And the location was known for making this thing. It's called famous Dodger dogs, okay? And the plant's parent company, Smithfield Foods, says the facility will cease all operations in 2023, okay? But we've talked about, Smithfield, like when it comes to pork and stuff like that, but this guy, he's closing down his operations too. And it's sad. So now on to this. 190,000 pounds of baby formula from Australia has landed in the U.S. Yeah. Around 95,000 tins of baby formula arrived in the U.S. from Australia. And this could potentially offer relief to many families who have struggled to obtain infant formula. And it's called Bubs. Bubs Australia. And they struck a deal with American grocery chains, Kroger and Albertsons, to import the formula under the fourth flight of Operation Fly formula. So if you shop with Kroger or Albertsons, even if you don't, and you are in need of baby formula, let's try and get with that baby formula, okay? So on to this. Speaking of baby formula, Abbott Nutrition, they temporarily shut down their Sturgis plant due to severe weather, saying it could delay baby formula production for another few weeks. Yeah, another excuse. So this is the same factory that shut down earlier this year because of bacteria. And now they're saying, now it's weather. What's going to be the next delay, Abbott? What's the next one? So, on to this. The Surface Transportation Board ordered the top 4 Class 1 railroads on Monday to provide more details of their plans to restore service, with Chairman Marty Oberman saying materials submitted so far have been woefully deficient. And Union Pacific, okay, we've talked about that before, Union Pacific, and BNSF and CSX, and Norfolk Southern will be required to revise their plans to correct deficiencies and provide new information about how they intend to improve customer service, including timely response to customer inquiries about delays. Failure to comply could lead up to fines of $8,736 a day. Now, railroads, in some instances, omitted required information or did not provide sufficient detail, and the plan simply failed to instill confidence that the carriers have a serious approach to fixing a problem caused by their own lack of preparedness, okay? So, it's just another nail in the coffin as far as I'm freaking concerned. So, it's just, just keep stacking it. It's terrible. So here's another one. Another kink in the supply chain. And this happened in Campbell County, Kentucky. Crews from multiple fire departments are at the scene of a warehouse fire in Wilder. A fire broke out just before 5:15 p.m. in the Castellini Company-owned building on Plum Street. No injuries were reported, thank God. A cooling bus provided by the Transit Authority of Northern Kentucky is there to provide firefighters working in extremely hot temperatures. Crews remained on the scene until 9 p.m. The Castellini Company is a supply chain company specializing in produce sourcing and delivery and transportation services, according to the company's website. Yeah. Just doesn't end, does it? It really just does not end. And the last thing that I'm going to cover is about 200 baby cows. They died in a barn fire. They were trapped like rats. I'll never understand, why this keeps happening. This happened in Streefkerk, and that's Streefkerk. And this happened in the Netherlands. The baby cows were in the burning shed, were in boxes, and they could not escape. The fire broke out at 4 a.m. in one of the 4 largest stables at the animal farm. The fire brigade managed to prevent the fire from spreading to the other 3 stables, where 1,000 calves were locked up. The cause of the fire is unknown. Now, on this same farm, back in August of 2019, there was another fire that killed 1,500 pigs. And the Dutch government has not prioritized fire prevention on animal farms, despite more than 1.3 million animals dying in barn fires over the past 8 years. Now, in April, 43,000 chickens died in a barn fire in the Netherlands, in a town called Housden. I don't know if I said that right, but it's Heusden. And the animals were trapped like rats and could not go anywhere. In January, 14 horses died in a fire near the village of Koningslust. Koningslust. When the fire started, the horses were locked in a barn and they could not escape. My God. My God. All right, guys, that's all for this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less.